Are you ready to challenge yourself and think bigger? I'm your host, Marianne Marchesi, and together we'll hear the unfiltered, unscripted stories of those who've taken big risks and transformed their bold ideas into reality. Season 2 is brought to you by multi-award-winning law firm Legalite, where bold ideas thrive. Today's guest is someone who's built a seriously distinctive brand by doing something exceptionally well, finding the right words. I'm with Anita Siek, the founder of Wordfetti, a creative agency that's helped shape the voice of some of the most recognisable brands. If you've ever struggled to articulate what you do or nail your messaging, I think Anita's story will give you some real-life inspo. Welcome, Anita.
Hello. It is so good to see you and be here.
So good to see you after, I think, 8 or 9 years in real life.
A few babies later.
Yeah. And we were meant to start a podcast together 9 years ago.
We actually did record things together.
We did. I know. And then you've got your own podcast and I've got mine. So I think we did make it happen with you being here today. Anita, we also have another connection being that you studied law before starting Wordfetti.
Yeah.
Tell me about what was your relationship with words and creativity that made you want to pivot into copywriting?
Yeah, you know what? It's so interesting. I used to think I always say to people, I used to write things people don't read as a lawyer. Now, I mean, who reads the thing, right? Until crap hits the fan.
Yeah.
And I used to think that there wasn't as much correlation, but there's actually so much in law that I feel like is so important in terms of, you know, the delicate choice of words could literally mean something completely different, right?
True.
Same with copy, you know, you could say one word and then use another word and then it could feel completely different. I always say you could use the word big or massive. Massive sounds bigger, but it actually says the same thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I studied, I did the whole traditional law thing, as you mentioned. I don't think I lasted long. I lasted maybe 3 years in the corporate world. Okay. And for me, the big moment where I was just like, maybe I'll start something different, actually came through so many times. Like, so Wordfetti was probably my third side hustle.
Really?
Yeah.
What else did you have before that?
We don't hear about those ones.
I didn't hear about this, no.
Oh, gosh. I did photography on stage.
Oh, cool.
Again, that didn't last too long. I love taking photos. I remember growing up, my dad would always have a camera, video camera, one of those like, you know, those cameras. But just because you can hold a camera doesn't mean you should be a photographer. Okay, so that didn't last long, but I enjoyed it. I went to a few weddings, went to a few events. It was cool. And then I started a little side business with my mum creating really cute succulent plants. Again, I know nothing about plants. I kill cacti, I kill terrariums, so it did not last long. And Wordfetti was my third side hustle, and it just came from the pure love of language and words.
And you were actually good at it this time.
Yeah, people actually read my things now.
Yeah, you bring words to life instead of killing plants.
Yes, exactly.
So cool. And then what made you take it from a side hustle to a fully fledged business? Like, was there a moment where you were like, okay, now I'm ready to step into this?
Yeah, I'd love to say that I knew just the moment, but I don't think when I told my boss back then, and I worked in government, that I was leaving, that I myself knew that I was actually not coming back. Like, I feel like I left because I just felt like staying didn't make sense. As in, like, I actually got a promotion like 3 months before I left my corporate job, but then I still wasn't happy. Like literally I was just like, oh.
Were you just not excited? Not excited by the promotion?
And in my head, and what's interesting is that role was something that I thought I really wanted. I was like, yep, I would love to get to this level. If I could get there, amazing. And I got there and I'm like, oh, bung bung. Is that it? Is that it? Where is the confetti gun? Where is my prize? And I think I just felt a bit like meh. And I just didn't want to be in this cubicle and just continue going on. My personal big watermelon to the head moment was, I think I might have shared this with you ages ago, but my dad passed away quite suddenly. And that also, all the things were like happening in around the same time. And I was just like, honestly, I don't want to live life where I have regrets. And my dad was a hard-working man. Literally, when he was on his literal deathbed, he was still working.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't want to live that, like a
Yeah.
life like that, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, what have I got to lose?
Yeah.
If this does not work out, I can get a job at
Go
Macca's.
get a job. Honestly, I know.
It is okay.
I think like a lot of people do think the absolute worst case scenario as being like a life or death situation if your business doesn't work out. But really it does come back to what you just said. It's like, no, the worst case scenario, let's think this through.
Yeah.
Go get a job.
Yeah. You know a quote that I came across recently? One of my clients actually told me this. I'm like, that's genius. She said to me, we always try to make the right decision, but it's actually more about making the decision right for you. Like we always try to like do the right thing. But like, as you and I both know, like if everything literally went according to plan, that would be so boring.
Oh, so boring. I cannot imagine how boring that would be.
Yeah.
And it's when things don't go to plan that it like challenges you to think a different way, to disrupt yourself, to disrupt your own ideas, like thinking outside the box. That's where all the best ideas happen.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
Totally with you on that.
Yeah.
And then so all of that happened and then you're like, okay, I'm not feeling the passion for my corporate stable job.
Yeah.
How scary was that to go all into your business? And I remember this time very well. You and I were friends back then. I remember that week. But I obviously don't know all the emotion and the fear and everything behind that. So talk me and the listener through that.
I would say I actually felt very excited. I felt very excited. I remember walking out of my corporate job and literally looking at everything around me. I'm like, bye. Catch you later. See you never. And I felt so invigorated, excited, all the feelings, but obviously logistically, like I think obviously when you start a new business, banks don't take you seriously. I went and bought a car. I went and bought a house, literally with my final pay slips. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Let's do the stable thing.
Yeah.
While we've got the money.
Literally. Bought my first place, bought the car, and then I went all in. But then I think it was the decision of me going all in that I was like, okay, I need to make this work. I really need to make this work. I literally have a mortgage now. And I was with Dean back then, my now husband. Obviously, we had a conversation. He was in a stable corporate job as well. And he actually wanted to start a business back then as well. I was like, me first. Me first.
Sit down.
Yeah, me first. So he's got his own business now too, which is so cool. But we obviously had the, logistical conversations, the practicality of everything. Do we have enough savings? All of that. And we needed one person to kind of have that stable income. So I'm really grateful for him.
Yes.
I'm grateful to have him support me and be the person that if, crap does hit the fan, he's got us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say I felt invigorated, freaking excited. I think Wordfetti, up until I left my corporate job, which was around 8 months, it was side hustle energy. I gave it side hustle energy and I got side hustle results.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know what
So
you
in my
mean.
head, I was like, now I can dedicate all these hours, all my time to it. Imagine what's possible. And literally, as soon as I left my corporate job, went all in, and it was November, December. In my head, I'm like, quiet, right? It snowballed. It completely snowballed. We were booked out like 3-4 months in advance.
Wow.
And by we, I mean, it was just me and an editor.
Yes. Yeah. Was that really tempting to then scale straight away because you were booked up, or were you kind of like...
And back then, this was like 8 years ago, I was just like, I guess I hire more.
Yeah.
I guess and that was what I did. I hired, scaled based on people and team. And that's how we grew, I guess, for the first like 2-3 years. We grew as an agency. At our peak, we had probably around 7 or 8 people in the team. And we were working with incredible brands, incredible people. And that was like for the first 3-4 years of Wordfetti. Yeah.
And you've since, I wouldn't say scaled back because you have not scaled back, but you have kind of changed it up a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%.
So firstly, tell me Tell me when you introduced the club, when was that?
That would have been probably the first reiteration of it was probably around 3 years ago, 3 years ago. Then it was repositioned as the club probably around a year and a half ago. Yeah.
And did any of that introduction of the club, and I'll talk about that properly in a second, but did that decision have anything to do with bringing the decision between bringing staff on and creating more of a, I guess, automated, if you like, business?
Yeah. So I guess to continue on with us growing the business, growing by people, all of that, I don't think in those first couple of years I ever stopped, and this sounds so obvious on hindsight, right? I don't think I ever stopped to be like, what does success look like for you, Anita?
Oh, wow.
What do you want?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever asked myself that. I don't think, even growing up sometimes, I've done a lot of reflection. I'm like, I don't think anyone's ever, even my parents, I don't think anyone's ever been like, what do you want? Because I think I grew up in a very traditional Asian family household with tiger parents literally being like, do you want to be a doctor or a lawyer?
Yeah, yeah. Same in my culture.
There was
Same
never
thing.
like, what do you want to do? And anything you want to do, it's possible. There wasn't that. And I adore my parents and I know they did the best that they could with what they had. But it's like a lot of that ingrained in me was like, I've got to do what other people tell me to do is right, you know? So for me, I grew based on people, and I just, it sucked the life out of me. Because then the work that I did, the work that I love to do, I was no longer doing. And I also never really wanted to have a big agency. I never wanted to grow as an agency. I went and signed a lease when one of my core values is location freedom. Why did I do that? You know? Yeah. So I think around 3-4 years in, I hit peak burnout. And I remember very clearly I was about to go to a photo shoot with my team and I literally collapsed, blanked out. Do not recommend. And then I still had to pick myself back up and go to the photo shoot. I'm like, okay, I'm here. You know,
that's awful.
Yeah. And in that moment, I was just like, I need to completely revisit, what do I want? I remember reading this book, this book changed a lot for me. It's called Designing Your Life. I don't know whether you've read it. Highly recommend Designing Your Life. It's by two professors based at Stanford University. And it's literally designing your life. Incredible book. I've read it so many times ever since. And in a way, I kind of just intentionally redesigned everything to what I wanted.
I love that. I mean, I can see how easy it would be when you experience such rapid growth. And I witnessed that growth in the early years and it was really exciting. And you had this distinct, amazing voice that in a traditional industry just didn't really exist at the time. So I can see how it's like a fast-paced train that just you know, gets away from you, you go along for the ride and then you're like, hang on, is this actually what I want? So I totally get how that happened. Yeah. What was your kind of moment where you were like, I don't want this? You read the book, obviously, you were burnt out. They're really good triggers. But for you to then say, okay, we're scaling back the team and introducing the club.
Yeah, I think it was when I would get Sunday scaries. Oh, I would.
You don't want that as a business owner. You're like, that's why we went into business.
Exactly. Yeah. And it just literally made me feel the exact same feeling as I did back in my corporate job. I'm like, I've literally created the same thing. I've created a jail for myself. And I was dreading Mondays because I just knew my calendar was packed. I had back-to-back meetings because that's, so busy. So I think when it got to the stage where I actually started to dread and got nervous if clients said yes, I was like, wow, I should really be excited. Talking about it nonstop. And I actually started to get quite anxious and all of that. So that for me was probably the moment where I was just like, something needs to change. It's not sustainable, how I'm feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah.
Fair enough. In addition to being your host, I'm also the founder of Legalite. If you're looking for a law firm that can work with your bold ideas, not against them, you can join the movement for better legals at www.legalite.com.au or follow us on Instagram at legalite_au. And tell me about the club. What is it?
Yeah. So the club, in a way, it's an online membership. A huge component of one of the key components for me after I did the book and also considered what was important to me was the moments that make me most zing is when I'm teaching and when I'm talking. So for me, I'm like, okay, so I had a bit of like a small digital side of the business back then, but I was like, okay, so what if we actually make this like the hero of what Wordfetti is? We have a series of digital templates. We also had programs, courses, teaching people how to better communicate. And that's essentially what Wordfetti Club is about. So we help people in a way write better, communicate better so that they can sell more through the psychology and the words. So we have masterclasses, we have resources, templates. We've also built an AI bot that we've also trained. We're calling it FettiBot.
I love the name.
That we've literally trained in our years of frameworks, psychology-based, like conversion copy. So that is awesome. It's kind of like the extension of your team in terms of like a copywriter. Cool. It's pretty cool.
So only club members get access to FettiBot.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How did you even go about upskilling in AI? Like how to build an AI bot?
Yeah, honestly, it took me months. But
that's not bad, actually. Months is not bad.
Coming back from mat leave, I noticed a huge decline in our members, if I'm to be completely transparent and honest. Huge decline. And it made sense because AI became a huge component in the last 2 years, like in the online business world. AI is huge. And I think our old messaging, which was all around, hey, you get resources, templates, and all of that was no longer landing because people could literally go to AI for the same thing. So we needed to really shift and adapt and in a way like pivot and reposition the club. So it was less about, hey, get resources, get templates, but how you could actually stand out, how you can actually teach AI, how to give you better outputs, how you could actually leverage AI to help communicate your brilliance out there better, you know? So for me, and I had started to see this play out, like obviously there's ChatGPT and all of that, but as you and I both know, like crappy input, crappy output with ChatGPT.
Oh my gosh. So some of this AI slop that I see and that ChatGPT produces for me, I'm just like, I'm not putting this out there.
Ew. So I think a huge component, I started to dive into a huge rabbit hole coming back from mat leave, being like, okay, so how can we be friends with AI and actually integrate this as part of what we do and amplify it even more. And then I started to dive into like custom GPTs, creating AI tools. And that's kind of how, I don't know, literally so many hours of YouTube videos and, you know, just trying to learn how you build like a custom GPT, teaching it your frameworks. Because once, it's like an intern, like once you can feed it, like how you think, the best approach, systems, patterns, and all of that, then it can repeat more of the thing.
And it gets better as people use it. It gets
better and better and better, and I'm constantly training it. So it's...
Where does it live? Yeah. Does it live in ChatGPT?
Yeah, under OpenAI.
Okay, understood. Yeah. So your members get access to the club, which is your own kind of ecosystem, and then they get access to this ChatGPT bot as well to bolster. That's so good.
Yeah, it's cool.
So good.
It's really cool. I literally, so I've built some for my team as well. So we've got one for the podcast. We've got one for how we like repurpose content. And because we have pools of content, like we have a pool of like years of content, it learns literally and goes, okay, you've done this, like here is the pattern, here is the strategy, here's the framework. And we just repeat what's working.
It's so smart, I think, because I feel like this year it's going to become really apparent that AI is to be used as an assistant, not as a replacement. Totally. And you've done that with this. It's so cool.
Yeah, I always say as soon as you use AI as like just the executor and producer, like you're the intern, AI is the expert. Like
yes, so true.
That's not the point.
No, that's not
that's not the point. Like it should be the other way around.
Should
like
be. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And then you mentioned things kind of were going downhill after mat leave. Talk to me about that. Is that because you were absent from the business, do you think? Or just the timing? Because I know you had your baby kind of post-COVID, but it was a tough economy.
Yeah, I think it was. So I had Charlie on October 2024. Yeah. So it was in between, I guess, that Christmas and New Year's period, which is a very normal season for people to review subscriptions, review like all the things. So completely understood. It's a pattern. We've had it before. But I would probably say it was probably all of 2024.
Yeah.
We noticed just a slow like decline. Like usually we would slowly go up. Like there's churn is fair. Like we know it happens, but it literally was just slowly like declining. And obviously I was going on mat leave, so I was like, I'm not going to create any huge projects for us just before I go on mat leave. And I think when we relaunched with FettiBot, that was huge. Like that was like, now the momentum is picking back up again. I definitely think a huge component was our messaging, our own positioning. AI was our biggest competitor, to be honest, and still is with a lot of other roles and jobs as well. So it no longer landed with people. Like the fact that you get resources and template, so what? I could get it literally from AI. So how is joining the club, how is joining sessions with you going to actually help me get something that I'm not going to get through AI? And that's what we had to answer.
Yeah, I can relate to all of that. I think 2024 was a tough year for a lot of businesses. It really was. And I think in hindsight, we're going to look back and be like, you know what, 2024 was like a really defining moment in business, a defining year where there was like a changeover in customer expectations and trends. And I think FettiBot is evidence of that, because introducing it obviously attracted all of this interest and momentum again. So I really think, you obviously had the foresight to kind of turn things around and have your comeback, which is cool.
And we could see it in testing even our ads. Like we would have ads that are just directed at writing better, communicating better, which still lands. But then we would have ads talking about how you can literally have this AI tool to help you produce better, more quality insights from your brain. And like that works so much better.
So good.
So it's like we are in this era of wanting to, like we know AI is not going anywhere and it's going to be a huge component, but I think a lot of people are stuck with how to best use it because it's so generic at the moment.
Yeah, and it's very overwhelming. There's so much information out there, and we're also being told you still have to be human behind the brand as well. So that's really confusing.
It is confusing.
It's like, which one is it? But you do help people to connect and convey that human behind the brand as well, like with words and the impact on personal brand and founder brand. Is that all part of the club too?
Yeah.
Cool.
Like a huge component of it. So we've got a lot of like creators in there, business owners, service to e-commerce based businesses. A huge component is how can we help you like be distinctively radically different, and how can you be more you? Because I think even especially nowadays, like when you read like a LinkedIn post or social, you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
And you can also tell when you're writing something, even if you're trying to write something and your energy is not in it. I don't know about you, but I truly believe that there is, when you write something, how you feel about that topic, what you're saying, people can feel that as well. So if you're writing from a space of, I've got to put another post up, I'm going to put another LinkedIn post up because, tick, people can feel that. But if you're really writing from a space of just enthusiasm, passion, and just fiery, spicy, like people can feel that too.
Yeah. I do agree with that for sure. There's some content that I write that I'm just like, this is amazing and I can't wait to post this. And then there's other content where I'm like, this is shit. And I just don't post it. I'm like, it's not landing for me. It's not going to land for my audience. I think you do a really good job as well of your personal brand and being really authentically you. The person that you read through your voice on socials is the same person that's sitting in front of me. And I really, really love that about you. You're just so authentic. And I think your club members are really lucky to have that example as well, because I do think it lacks in a lot of businesses and personal brands where there's that mismatch.
Yeah. And I usually find because that's usually the first thing people outsource. And I have and this was a friction I had when we were growing the agency, because we would have people coming to us being like, oh, can you help us with our socials, our social media, our marketing? And I'm like, that is like such a key vehicle for you to get that touch point with your client. Like, it's the most perfect place for you to have that conversation. Like, I might be controversial, but I don't think that should be the first thing you should be outsourcing, like your social media.
That is controversial as a copywriter. I mean, but it's cool because it's honest.
Yeah, I don't think so, because it's the most perfect avenue for you to have conversations with your clients. Like, don't automatically outsource your DMs to your VA. Like, I still manage my own DMs because I want to get that touch point with my audience. And you just never know. Like I always say, if you're not making enough sales, you're not having enough conversations. Have more conversations and also understand and hear and listen what people are saying, because that's going to help you better your business, your messaging, positioning.
Totally. Yeah. And I think as the business owner, when you're the one in the DMs and having that customer touch point, the learnings that you get from that to be able to continuously, you know, have that feedback loop and continuously improve with that business owner hat on, you're going to read that DM in a different way than a VA is going to read it. You're going to be able to do something with that DM and that information, whether it's with your processes or, you know, your service offering, whatever it is. So
it's all data, literally.
Data, yes, for sure. Okay, so you had your baby in October 2024. How did that change your perception of leadership and success?
Oh, I love this conversation. How long we got?
We've got about 15 minutes, so we can just spend time talking about Charlie if you like.
Gosh, and of course you would know too, like I knew it would change me. Like I knew, and everyone around me told me it's going to change. Like a lot of things will change, but I don't think I really knew what that meant until she was here. I always say she has been the most healing element of like the last year and a bit. She's like 15, 16 months now. It's been so healing. I'm so much more, I'm very masculine in my energy. I've always been very like gung-ho, let's go. Like, let's freaking go. Oh, let's double it. Let's triple it. Let's 10X it, you know? What she has really gotten me, and Dean has said this too, and a lot of my friends have been like, there's this beautiful duality now of you where you're that feminine and, you know, the feminine and masculine energy. There's the soft, but there is also the ruthless, you know, there's the gracious, and then there is also the I'm not taking that, no thank you. So it's changed a lot. It's also gotten me a lot more just clear with what I will and will not tolerate. And I think a huge component of this I truly believe that being a mum makes you a better business owner, and being a business owner makes you a better mum. And I think for so long, I was so scared. I don't know about you, but I was so scared of having a baby. So scared. Because I was like, okay, that means I'm going to go backwards. That means I'm going to lose the business. That means everything's going to be halt, because everyone was like, just you wait.
Yes.
Just you wait until you have your baby. Enjoy traveling. Because I love to travel. Like I travel as much as I can. It's one of my like core values. Love travel, love location freedom. And they were just like, enjoy it while you can. Just you wait until you have a baby. Enjoy your sleep while you can. Like, and there were just so many just you waits that were
so
negative. And I don't think it was probably until around 3 or 4 months into just before I was about to have Charlie that I was like, I was still nervous, but I was like, you know what? I get to define how I want this era to look. I get to choose how this is going to feel and look like for me, you know? And I remember sitting down with Dean and being like, let's talk about what you want fatherhood to look like, what I want motherhood to look like, what we want business ownership and motherhood and fatherhood to look and feel like. And for both of us, we're just like, we don't want this to be the reason we don't travel and all of that. And obviously there are challenges, obviously, but a huge component of this is always just how we choose to see it. I truly think babies bring abundance.
Yeah.
I do. Like I am seeing things with such a clear lens. And I literally said to all my friends that have babies, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I did not know. Did not know.
Oh, the sorries after you have a baby, you're like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I am so sorry. One of my really good friends, Claudia, I was like, I'm so sorry. I kind of just treated you exactly the same as what it was like when you were about to go to the hospital, but everything changed for you.
Everything changes.
Everything changed, and everything is so much more colourful. Everything is just so much more meaningful, and it just gets you laser focused on what you will and will not do.
Yeah. It almost makes you see life again through your child's eyes.
Yeah.
And you get to also re-experience maybe moments from your childhood, but get a new lens on it and a new appreciation for it. I have found the exact same thing. And I really feel like my second child, my daughter in particular, really healed me. Aww. Because my first was through IVF. Yeah. And it was, I wept when he was born. It was like 3 years of,
oh my gosh.
And then this moment when he was born was beyond. And then I don't think I ever really processed that whole fertility journey until I had my second baby, who was a natural pregnancy. And then having her, I was like, oh, I'm complete. I just feel complete. And it was just, And since then, such a healing, many healing moments.
What's been the biggest thing for you feel when you, I'm like interviewing you now. It's like, what's been the biggest thing for you feel when you had the babies for you and your business?
For my business, like you, when I had my first, I became very, I think intolerant is probably the only way to describe it, like intolerant of the bullshit. Yeah. After I had him, I was like, no, I'm not copying this anymore. I'm good. With my second, I knew the experience I had been through with the business and that everything was going to be okay. But actually, when I was pregnant with her, I had 2 clients fire me because I was pregnant. And do you know what I noticed? I could not have given a fuck because I was like, you know what, if you're going to fire me because I'm pregnant, well, then maybe you can just actually go away. Yeah. So
catch you later.
Yeah, catch you later, which was very different to how I would have been even 5 years prior or even before children.
Totally.
Like it would have kept me up at night. But I was like, cool.
I love this version of you.
Thank you. So, I do think children just totally change you.
Yeah.
Anita, I've got one last question for you. I would love to know what's one piece of advice you've got for somebody who's got a bold idea and wants to take that next step.
I actually have this quote written and as a Post-it note, and it's on my laptop, but this was the first thing that came to my mind. You've got to make decisions based on the business or the person you want to be instead of the business or the person you want to maintain. I think it's very easy to keep stay in that job. It's very easy to keep saying yes to the client, even though it doesn't excite you. It's very easy to keep with the same business model because it has worked and it's gotten you here. But what's going to be hard is you saying no, maybe going backwards for a month or two in the pursuit of something that could be even greater.
Yes.
And I think people look at a lot of people and be like, don't quit, persist. But there's actually so much good sometimes in knowing when to quit something that is not in alignment for you. So you've got to make decisions in service of alignment is what
I love that. That is such beautiful advice. And I think if more people live their life in alignment and what served them, we'd see a lot of really great ideas come to life.
I always say, like the inner knowing, you know. Like just listen,
that instinct. Yeah, you got to listen to it. And women have got really good instinct, but we've just been conditioned to turn it off sometimes. So tune it back in.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's been such a pleasure chatting to you, and we made it happen in real life after 8 years. So I'm so happy you've joined me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Anita. If you loved what you heard, make sure you follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. Or even better, leave us a review. And if you have a bold idea of your own, I'd love to hear from you. Check out the show notes to get in touch.